All right, so it is 10:30 p.m. and I know I should be sleeping, but I promised myself I was just going to show up and give y'all this update because I've been procrastinating. I am overthinking things. But today is day 85. I am 5 days away from finishing my 90-day lock-in, okay? And I'm wrapping up my month and a half of my debt-free journey. And tonight I had one of my biggest wins. I was so excited. So let's get something to drink and then we'll talk all about that. So let's talk about the 90-day lock-in. If you're new here, back in March, I started a 90-day lock-in. And it was a personal commitment to myself of what I would do on a daily basis. One of those things was walking 6,000 steps a day because I was struggling. You know, I work from home, I sit in this desk all day, and then I wasn't getting enough steps. Like, even though I was going to Pilates and going to Orange Theory, still wasn't hitting like 6,000 steps some days. On the Orange Theory days, it was easier, but on the Pilates days, if I didn't consciously think about it, it wasn't happening. So that was my biggest thing in the 90 days. And I was doing a great job. Some days I did have where I didn't hit my goal, but I decided on June 1st that I was going to challenge myself to see how many days can I get 10,000 steps in the last 20 days of the challenge. And today is June 15th, and I hit 10,000 steps or more every day for the last 15 days. And that might not sound alike to some people, but for me, before my 90-day lock-in, there were some days where I was getting 3,000. And now for the last 15 days, I consistently been getting 10K or more. So that feels good. You know, I don't know if I'm going to commit to 10K steps a day. You know, after these 20 days, I might do 8,000. I'm not sure yet. But for the last 15 days, I have gotten at least 10,000 steps. Some days I even hit 12. At the end of the 90 days, I'll give you a full breakdown of how many steps I got in my 90-day lock-in, all right? Something I've been struggling with too these last 90 days is how much sleep I've been getting. So I recently got like one of those wellness rings. It was a dupe that I got on Amazon. I got it yesterday. So I want to track to see how many hours I'm sleeping, because I think sometimes the plateau or is coming because I'm just not sleeping enough. And as much as I just want to do everything else, it's like, girl, you need to start sleeping more. Like right now, I'm talking to y'all at 10:30 at night. I should be asleep because I'm waking up at like 5:15 in the morning. But we're going to do better tomorrow, okay? Now, when we talk about wellness and body, the scale, it's been doing what it needs to do. You know, it's not doing it, still not as quickly as I want, but I definitely have seen some changes in the last 90 days. You know, in March, I think I was around like 226.4, and my last weigh-in was June 12th. I'm looking at my notes, 218.7. So that's almost 8 pounds down in about 3 months. And I know some of y'all be like, in 3 months, it's slow. But as long as I'm consistently going in the right direction, I'm going to take it, okay? Especially, I'm probably building muscle because I'm in Orange Theory. I'm in Pilates. Things are changing. And if I don't see it in the scale, I can definitely see it in some outfits that I've tried on before, that I tried on right now, and they fit differently. Like I wore this red dress to a graduation party that I had on Saturday. And I don't remember that thing fitting the way that it fit on Saturday. It wasn't a dress. It was like a one-piece outfit. But I felt good in it. So even though the scale might not be moving as quickly, I see my body changing over this time. That's why I'm always encouraging to take pictures, you know, try on different outfits, because you need to have other things to track your progress while you're on this journey. Keep you motivated, okay? All right, so let's get into this debt journey. I know that's why a lot of you are here, and I have a lot to share. So when I started this debt-free journey, I was at $78,602.69, and that's spread over 19 different accounts. So credit cards, personal loans, and my auto loan. Again, this does not include my student loan debt or my mortgage. I'm just all consumer debt, everything outside of that. I put it all on the table. There's no hiding. There's no shame. This is just how much I owe and how much we're going to pay off. So tonight we are sitting at $74,664.13. That's a total of $3,938.56 paid off in the past 6 weeks. 2 of those cards are completely gone, so we're down to 17 remaining accounts from 19. Let's talk about Wayfair now. So my Wayfair card was at like $1,200, something like that. And then at the end of April, they added like $300 something to it, bringing the balance to $1,490.72, right? So I'm like, I don't want this to happen again because I had another promotional balance ending June 22nd. So I was like, why don't we call Wayfair and see if there's anything they can do? I called Wayfair, and I'm not gonna lie, I called and I was like, I wasn't familiar with how promotional periods worked. I see that, there was an additional $300 something added to my card, and I wanted to see if there was anything that you guys can do. And I also see that I have a promotion ending June 22nd, so I want to make sure whatever I need to pay, I can pay that before the 22nd, so there's no additional accrued interest. So how it works, when you get like one of those, buy a couch and for 6 months, no interest, if you don't pay that card off in those 6 months, at the end, they're going to take all that interest that they held onto your account and they're going to add it to your balance. So the goal was I was supposed to pay this stuff off before April of 2026. I didn't pay it off, and now I had an additional $300 on there. But listen, she told me, you know what, let me see if you're still in a grace period. She came back, she said, you're still in a grace period. So if you can pay the $500 something that was supposed to be paid by April, we can waive that deferred interest. And I was like, okay, but I also have one ending on June 22nd, so I want to make sure I pay the right amount so that doesn't add any interest as well. So I ended up paying, I took money from my savings account because this wasn't a planned thing. I've been taking $350 per paycheck and putting it into my Ally bank account to save some money. But at that point, I was like, I don't want to pay. Why am I going to pay an extra like $500 of interest to them? So I made a payment for, I can't remember the exact number, I'll put on the screen, I think $700 something, and they are waiving that accrued deferred interest. So now my Wayfair balance, it was actually a little bit over the balance. It was a little over $1,500. I'll put something here. It's going to be $400. Okay. So Wayfair is going to be my next card to pay off. I'm just excited. Like, it's not like it's free money, but that's a big deal. Okay. A less than 5-minute conversation saved me $300 something. Like, yes. And it pushed me to pay that Wayfair card. And Wayfair has 28% interest. So really, once they update my account and now it shows at $400, I'm in a better place. It's not what I was expecting to do. But I didn't think that they were just going to waive that deferred interest either. It's late and I do need to go to bed, so I'm not going to go through each account, but I will tell you what some of the major differences what has been since I started May 1st. So I already talked about Capital One, Home Depot. Those 2 cards were paid off. They're green. My car note, I am down to the last payment. When I started May 1st, I had $1,744.27 left on my car note. My car note initially started at $27,000. So the fact that I have a balance of $497 right now, that's my last payment, $497. So my next paycheck, I'll be paying that $497, and I am car note free, baby. Okay. Another big difference, I would say, I have 2 tabs, one for $3,800, and then tab 2 had $1,750 left on it. I made a $700 payment, so now I have $1,050 left on there, and I plan to pay that off the first week of July when I get my brand deal check. And then my next card that I'm focusing on right now, so everything else has pretty much been minimum payments. Right now we're still doing snowball effect, even though I kind of went off track and I ended up paying off, putting that $700 on Wayfair. But here, Capital One, we started May 1st at 501. As of today, it has a $300 balance. I recently just made a 101.98 payment. So with Capital One, that's going to be my next goal to pay off, is the $300 of Capital One. And then Wayfair, since Wayfair is now going to be like one of my second lowest, because it's going to be $400. So I will get back to you. If you guys want a more detailed look of my breakdown, let me know. I just wanted to get something out here so I can stop procrastinating. But yes, I mean, it's going to be a slow, but it's going to be a good journey. So 5% of that debt is paid off. That made me happy to see that. I like visuals. So seeing the visuals of what I'm paying off, this is what I need, what I've paid off so far. And then the red is what's remaining. So one day, the goal is to see more green than blue, more than red. But we're not there yet. And then I'm also tracking whether it's a snowball method or avalanche method. So right now with the snowball method, it'll tell me which card I should be paying off next. If I was going to avalanche method, then the next card I would be paying off is this Discover card. But the good news with Discover and Wayfair, they had the same interest rate at 28%. So I'm going to make an update. Maybe I'll update when I get that Wayfair bill updated. I will come out and show you guys that, me updating my sheet and how I keep track of things. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'm so excited about this Wayfair $300. Like, the fact that it's not free money, but it feels like it. And another way that I'm planning to pay off debt is I joined a SuSu. So I'm not sure if you know what a SuSu is. A SuSu is a community savings tradition. So usually like Caribbeans, African culture, it's a group of people who they all agree to put a fixed amount every week or every 2 weeks into a pool. So for us, everybody puts $100 a week. And every week, one person from the group gets the entire pot. So there is 30 people in that group. So everyone, when it's your turn, when it's like your hand, you get $3,000. So my hand is until October 30th. Now the SuSu is $100 a week, but since I get paid, 15th to 30th, I've been doing $200 every paycheck. So with the $350 that's leaving my paycheck and going to Allie, just the same way I had that money in that account and I was like, oh, I'm going to pay off that Wayfair because of the situation that just happened. With a SuSu, I'm not able to do that. That money, go every check, I Zelle it to the girl and it's gone and I can't use it until I get my hand in. So I like that. That's kind of more of like a forced savings because I'm in a group of people. I can't just say, oh, I don't have the money this week. Like, no. Once I get paid, I'm like, all right, girl, send the money for the SuSu. And once I get that $3,000 in hand in October, I'll kind of see where I am with my other cards. Maybe I'll settle something with collections. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. If I do settle something, I would settle something that I went to court for because I do have some collections that I had to go to court for. So I would rather have that settled because that means, like, let's say if I ever missed a payment or something, they could just get a judgment and come for my check. I don't want any of that. So I would rather deal with those. With those credit collection things, I would try to get them to give me a pay to delete. Like, I'll agree to pay a certain percentage if they delete it from my credit report. So we'll get into that in October. Right now, we're just stacking the money, sending the SuSu, and then when I get my hand, then we'll see what we're going to do with it. Looking at the numbers and just seeing how things are going, it's possible that I could be down to like 60,000 by the end of the year. But I haven't set that goal yet. Let me see how I am when I get towards the end of July, and then we'll kind of go from there. But it's late. It's time for me to go to bed. Again, I am 5 days left in this 90-day lock-in. 6 weeks into my debt journey. 8 pounds down. My Wayfair was negotiated tonight. The SuSu money is running. I'm feeling good. And I actually got my Mochi order earlier. Let me say that. So if you're new here, I'm also on a GLP-1 journey. I go through the Mochi platform. And something that I'm loving is that I realized that their app changed a bit. And now I can keep track in the app of where I take my med, like, you know, whether it was the stomach, the thigh, the leg, it keeping track of my weight. It's like a progress section of the app. And I like that because I would start to forget. I was putting it in my notes. I had it in different places, but I'll show you guys what it looks like. I like having that option to track some of these things, especially because my biggest thing is making sure that I'm taking my injections on a consistent basis, and wanting to be able to keep track of if there's any differences based on where I'm taking the shot. So having that right in the Mochi app has been helpful. And Mochi is not just for weight loss. It is a platform where it's connecting you to a provider. So that provider could be prescribing anything, whether it's from hair loss to hair growth to skincare to menopause. You're able to go through their products and see everything they order, speak to the doctor virtually, and those things are just mailed to you directly from your house. So I partner with Mochi. That's where I get my GLP-1. And then like even I started taking iron pills because my doctor keeps talking about how my iron was low. It's a one-stop shop. You don't have to go to several doctors for several things. You can go there for your whole health. Like, you know, so I like that. And I'll put the link for Mochi in the bio. But I'm proud of myself because it is late and I've been procrastinating. But I sat down, I talked to y'all, showed up for myself. And whatever it is, whether it is a debt-free journey, your weight loss journey, your content creating journey, just sometimes you just gotta show up and just do it imperfectly. And once you get into the routine of just doing it, eventually things will get better. Because I'm not gonna lie, I made these updates for you guys a few times and y'all have not seen any of them. So I was like, listen, today, this is what it is, okay? So if you're on your own debt-free journey or your own glow-up journey, you know, just in a season of working on being a better you, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, comment, let me know how your journey is, and ask me any questions. I am an open book.